Here's the deal, guys. There's a lot of ways to deal with your hair loss. You actually do have quite a few choices. You, of course, have the option to shave your head. You have the option to wear a hair system, get a hair transplant. You have the option to get SMP. You have the option to use hair fibers. In this video, we're going to be talking about what I think about hair fibers, if they are a asset, if they are something that you should consider, if they'll help you get by with your hair loss, or if they're just complete and utter crap. Now, this video right here is a long time coming. I've been kind of staying away from keratin fibers, hair fibers for quite a while because I don't know why. I just felt like I needed to watch, and I just kind of like needed to learn a little bit and, you know, test out the market, so to speak. Now, hair fibers right here, they've been sweeping the nation, and they're very, very popular because of the sensational videos that you can find on YouTube. All right, so let's take a look at some videos where people are actually using hair fibers, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, right? So check this out right here. This guy, right, is definitely experiencing a lot of hair loss. We can see that he's got some substantial thinning up top, to the point that there really is no coverage. You know, if he goes out like this, everyone's gonna know that he's balding. All right, so let's like look at this process. First, you know, we're like blowing it out, right? Trying to get it as straight as possible, create volume. Then we're straightening it to get more volume on top of that, right? And it's all wispy, very, very thin. So this is a process, right? I mean, like if you wanted to do exactly this look right here, you'd have to blow out your hair, you'd have to straighten your hair. Now, what they're doing right here is it looks like they're putting a basically like a type of substance on it to make the fibers stick a little bit more, instead of just having them kind of like lay on the hairs. So that way they're a little bit more sticky, if you will. And we can see right now, like, you know, it's getting pretty dope results, right? Like it's filling in fairly nice, which is, I mean, it's crazy, right? Like I understand why people love these keratin fibers, these hair fibers, because it's like hair systems, right? It's like an instant result, and it's pretty dang impressive, right? But like let's like look at this though. All right, how much of the fibers, I wonder how much of the fibers are actually going onto this guy's head, like how many were applied. So after that, it looks like they're putting on some spray, some holding spray, really dialing in the style. But all of his volume is artificial, of course. Keep in mind, you know, like the amount of hairspray to get this style is a lot. And yeah, I wonder how many fibers, but keep in mind, like this look, I mean, it's dope. Undeniably, it's dope. And it's definitely a better look. I think it's the solution. But like wait, hold up. So if we look at this right here, like very interesting, and I know I'm nitpicking, I'm being that guy, but I'm gonna slow it down here. Let's take a look right here. Like look at the guy's hairline right here. And I mean, you can see like it just looks off, right? It looks like there's powder there or something. I just think it's noticeable. But on top of that, like the big thing about this for me is really more so the fact of like the utility of it, if that makes sense. Like, can you actually go out and use hair fibers and not have to worry about things like it raining, things about like can you sweat, right? Like can you do these things? Not like can you mask your hair loss for a little bit. So this is another video. You know, we can see this guy has very extensive hair loss and has very little hair on his head. You know, this is very, very thin, right? So, you know, starting to get some coverage, right? And after a while, like it looks like you have to really work on the style to get it to look proper, and like feathering it in and making sure that there's even coverage, and that all the spots are covered, as opposed to just, you know, having it be patchy. Patchy is not a good look, which, you know, looks pretty good, right? Like on camera looks pretty impressive, I would say. Look at this, like all this powdering and brushing and stuff. It's a lot for sure. And then, you know, we're putting some finishing spray on it, right? And then we're gonna see what this looks like, how it goes with a water bottle spritzing his hair. Keep in mind, guys, this is spritzing. Like, I don't know if you've ever done this with, you know, bottle, not of like Windex, but of like you've gotten some spritz on yourself. Like he's not really even hitting like direct blast. Like most of the water is going above his head. So keep that in mind as this, and we're at maybe like 10 sprays. Now we're in the ballpark of 20. you know, now we're in the ballpark of what, like 20-25 sprays right here, and it's already starting to show. It's starting to become patchy, right? Let's just see. Goes for a couple more sprays, and it's really starting to show at this point. Like I don't know anybody that would be okay with like getting caught out in the rain for a couple minutes, and this is what starts to happen. Keep in mind, like being out in the rain, anything besides the light mist, like the amount of water that he was just exposed to on his scalp right here would literally happen within like the first 10 seconds, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse, and like it's an exponential slope. The less that's covered, the worse it gets, you know what I mean? And then it becomes extremely obvious. So undoubtedly this is not a perfect solution, right? Like there are certain ramifications that come with this. Mostly, like you can't get wet, you can't sweat in it. There's another video too, like I'm gonna move forward here so I can show you guys this, and we'll check this out as well, because I think this is pertinent. You know, this guy right here is basically making a video, putting it through extreme tests and seeing how it performs, right? So he's using Topic in this one right here. So he's gonna start putting some of it in there, putting some hairspray in. So let's just see what happens here. Like this is his look right now, which looks pretty good. Obviously there's like some thinning going on, and by the end of it we have more coverage. Now keep in mind, like this guy right here totally like has way more hair than the other guy, right? Like substantial amount of hair. I also think this thing at the edge is like really interesting, how it's trying to create like that hairline. We're all trying to get the best hairline, like we can all agree on that, right? So anyways, this is where he's at. And let's just see, like, so he's out here, he's running, he's doing the thing. How's it going? How's it going? So we can see, you know, it's still there, right? It's starting to wipe off though. Now, let's actually see. So we're gonna put some water directly on him, and let's see what actually happens, right? Like we dunk him, and this to me right here is the reason why, like, I don't think hair fibers are a really great solution. All right, so check this out right here, right? He's gonna put some water on his head. Look at this. First, you can see the fibers actually washing away. And then check this out, right? There's actual, like a whole bunch of fibrous mess on his finger. And I just, you know, I don't wanna be worried about like getting caught out in the rain and if I can sweat or not. And you know, my hair fibers, right? Now, this was the exact reason why I basically gave up on hair systems at the beginning of the channel. I made like 4, 6, 8 videos or something like that. And then I was basically like, I can't do this, guys. I'm shaving my head. And I shaved my head because I didn't think I could sweat with my hair system. I thought the adhesive was coming up and that I wouldn't be able to basically like live my life on the daily. Luckily, I discovered that I could. And you know, maybe some of these tips that like we saw in the comments are ways to get around this and get a little bit more longevity out of it. But I don't like the idea that it's so incredibly transient, if you will. I think that kind of is a no for me. And if this was my only choice, I don't think that I would use it continuously. Like I would be too scared of sweating. I'd be too scared of weather. I don't want to live my life in fear. I don't live my life in fear with a hair system. And from a lot of the people that I talk to that use these products, they do have to consider those factors. And I would say that they let it augment their life. You know, if you are a fiber user and you disagree or you feel that it doesn't limit you in any way, I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to interview you on this channel, hear your perspective. But to me, that's just kind of where I'm at with it. So, you know, I'm curious, guys. I would love to hear your feedback if you've used fibers, if you think that they're a good solution. You know, I do want to say though that I think fibers can be, you know, I've got some. I think that they can be a great way if you're in process of kind of like losing your hair to kind of deal with it. I think it's a great thing as well if you actually have a hair system and it's getting a little bit thin because you're trying to make it extend it a little bit further. Like I think it can work in those ways as temporary measures, but not a permanent thing. That's where I kind of draw the line. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you agree with me, if you don't, leave a comment down below, like the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your holidays.